Welcome back. So today we are going to read the story in our anthology book, and it's titled Mr. Petter and Tabby See the Stars. So remember, you can follow along with me in your anthology book, and that starts on page 232. So let's go ahead and get started. Mr. Petter and Tabby See the Stars. Essential question: what can we see in the sky? Read about what Mr. Petter and Tabby see in the nighttime sky. This story is written by Cynthia Rylant and illustrated by Arthur Howard. You can see that this story is divided into sections. It has Chapter 1, Logs, Chapter 2, Grumble, and Chapter 3, Stars. Chapter 1, Logs. Mr. Petter and his fine cat Tabby loved to sleep. They could sleep anywhere. They slept in chairs, in swings, in cars, in tubs, and sometimes in the laundry room. Mr. Petter and Tabby also slept in a bed. Of course, most of the time, sleeping in a bed was just fine. Mr. Petter plumped his pillow, Tabby squished hers, and then they slept like logs. But one night, one of the logs could not sleep. Chapter 2, Grumble. Mr. Petter was the log who could not sleep. He could not sleep because he had eaten too many pineapple jelly rolls at Mrs. Teaberry's house. Mrs. Teaberry was Mr. Petter's good friend and neighbor, and she liked to feed him. She liked to feed everybody, but most of all, she liked to feed Mr. Petter. She was always sending her good dog Zeke over to Mr. Petter's house with a note. The note always said, "Are you hungry?" And Mr. Petter always said, "Yes." So he and Tabby went next door a lot. But tonight, Mr. Petter had been having such a good time that he lost track and ate 21 jelly rolls. He forgot to count them as he popped them one at a time into his mouth. Before he knew it, 21 jelly rolls were gone, and it was time to go home. Mrs. Teaberry was happy that Mr. Petter enjoyed her jelly rolls so much, but Mr. Petter's stomach was not. It grumbled and grumbled and grumbled. Mr. Petter looked at his nice soft bed when he got home. Grumble, grumbled his stomach. Mr. Petter knew he would not be able to sleep with that grumbling. What to do? Mr. Petter looked at Tabby. Then he got an idea. Chapter 3, Stars. "Let's go for a walk," Mr. Petter said. He put his coat back on. He put his hat back on. He picked up Tabby, and out of the door they went. It was a beautiful night. The moon was full and moonlight was everywhere. Tabby looked, she listened, she twitched her ears, she twitched her tail. She loved the night. Mr. Petter loved it too, even with a grumbling stomach. Reread. Why is Mr. Petter's stomach grumbling? Reread to check your understanding. Mr. Petter looked up at the sky. He showed Tabby the stars, and he told her about all of them. He told her that the Big Dipper was full of milk from the Milky Way. Tabby purred. She loved milk. He told her about looking at the stars when he was a boy and how he always wanted to ride in a rocket ship. He told her how he had always dreamed of adventure. Tabby purred some more. Mr. Petter and Tabby made a nice big circle around the neighborhood. They looked at the sky, they looked at the yellow lights of the houses, they looked at the cat sitting in the windows looking back at them, and then, at last, they circled back home. They stopped in front of Mrs. Teaberry's house. Mrs. Teaberry and Zeke were on the front lawn. "Mrs. Teaberry, what are you doing up?" asked Mr. Petter. Reread. Mr. Petter asks why Mrs. Teaberry is up. Why is Mr. Petter up too? Reread to check your understanding. "Zeke has a grumbling stomach," said Mrs. Teaberry. "He ate too many jelly rolls and we can't sleep." Mr. Petter and Tabby were delighted. They sat on the lawn with Miss Teaberry and Zeke. Mr. Petter's stomach and Zeke's stomach talked to each other while Mr. Petter and Mrs. Teaberry talked to each other. They told stories in the moonlight. They told secrets. They made each other laugh. Then, when the stomachs on the front lawn stopped grumbling, everyone said good night, went to bed, and slept like logs. In the morning, Mr. Petter heard a scratching at the door. He opened it. It was Zeke with a note. The note said, "Are you hungry?" Mr. Petter smiled. He picked up Tabby, and together they walked next door. About the author and illustrator. Cynthia Rylant was a teacher and a librarian before she became a writer. She began reading children's books while working at a library. That's when she decided she wanted to make her own. When she gets an idea, she says, I sit down with a pen and paper and soon I've got a story going. Arthur Howard used to be an actor in plays and on television. Now he writes and illustrates books for children. When he started the Mr. Putter and Tabby series, Arthur drew Mr. Putter to look like his own father. Tabby is based on his mother's cat, Red. Author's purpose. Cynthia divides Mr. Putter and Tabby Sees the Stars into chapters. Why do you think she uses the chapter names Logs, Grumbles, and Stars? Okay, so I hope you like that story. And when I look at the author's purpose, why does the author divide the story into 3 sections? Well, the first section was titled Logs, and that was all about them trying to sleep like logs because they normally sleep like logs unless they eat too many jelly rolls. And then the second chapter was Grumbles because it was all about their stomachs grumbling, and 3 was about stars. So that's why the author probably titled it Stars. And that's it. So we'll talk to you soon. Bye.